have a bucket list, things I wish I had done. I have a bunch of them I wish I hadn't done. But my bucket list would include, and I think I've mentioned this to you, a trip to Australia, New Zealand. Would love to have gone there. Cannot explain why. The Man from Snowy River just fascinates me. That movie series. I'm not sure why I feel that way, but I do. I would love to go to Rome, and I would love to see if I had the same reaction at the Vatican that I did at the Mormon Temple in Salt Lake City, and the one they built in Las Vegas. I love Mormons, but I pray for their soul. Same thing for Catholics who do not know Jesus. But that's another story. Now, let's go on with my bucket list. Went to Hawaii, saw Pearl Harbor. Man, big techs. Wanted to do big techs. Still do. Won't happen. And announcing Aggie football games, especially the Fighting Texas Aggie Band halftime. Now, I understand you have to be sort of a military person, I think, and I never was in the military. I turned down what I thought to be something that didn't make sense when I was teaching in Cedar Bayou, my first year that I taught. The band director, and I just lost his name, was a re- reserve military officer in the Marines. Nearly had it. Anyway, I went to dinner one night. He invited me to have dinner with his family, and another person was there. He was a lieutenant colonel from the Marine Corps, and he had this manila folder. And after we ate, we were sitting there having coffee, and he got his briefcase out, opened it up, put this manila folder out there, and he said, Jim, he said, I have a proposition for you. And Alden Bailey was the band director, and he was sitting there like a celebrating cat eating a persimmon. He said, I would like to propose to you that we are in the need of college graduates to serve as a Marine officer for the Marine Corps band or chorus. And Alden says that you're qualified. He's impressed by you. Would you consider it? I said, well, tell me what this means. And he said, well, it's very simple. You have a graduate degree, yes. In music, yes. Then you would become a major in the Marine Corps okay, and you would be assigned to a performing group anywhere that there is an army base, or you could even be assigned to Washington, D.C. And I thought, that's kind of interesting. And he kept going. He says, all you need to do is sign this. He said, we've already done a background check. We know you're clear, so there's no problem. He said, your only problem is you're colorblind and it doesn't have anything to do with directing music. I said, no, I've done pretty good at it with that condition. So anyway, I thought about it and I said, well, in the time of war, what would you expect from me? He said, well, it's possible, being a major in the Marine Corps, that you would have to take on some responsibilities other than music. Now, Mattie and Sam didn't raise an idiot, okay? Just the thought of the possibility of there being a conflict and I would have men under my direction fighting for their lives and in defense of this country just scared me to death. Do you get my message? Do you understand why I thanked him kindly? And oh, it gives me palpitations to even consider it now. I wasn't going to go through basics. I was not going through any officer candidate school. I was just immediately a major because of my degree. Now, I'm not sure if I dreamed this, because I have mentioned this to other Marines and they don't believe it. But I was there, and that was in 1953 in Cedar Bayou, Texas, at the home of Alden Bailey, band director for Cedar Bayou High School. Now that was a bucket list I would not desire to do. Surely he was kidding. I mean, but that I'm telling you, that's what happened. Do you have a bucket list? I think everybody should. Something you would like to do. It would mean that I would miss out, perhaps, on a very exciting life. But the first thing on my bucket list would be this. I would have stayed in Bryan, Texas, swallowed my pride and fought the temptation to leave, because that year, teaching Bryan High School students at Stephen F. Austin, that's 14, 15 years, were the best years of my life. It's sad what mistakes you make, but isn't it wonderful to have forgiveness through the mercy and grace of Jesus Christ, and a fine family. So here I sit in my corner studio, which is the master bedroom of the house Marilyn Williams Austin and I purchased in 1963, their house where my children grew up. Loved and cherished. And here I sit. Now that is a story worth telling. And that's what I get from my box of chocolates right here in my corner studio under the shadow of Kyle Field. Love you. Amen.